Hey guys, this is Mr. H. Hey, I just did a video where I solved question number 29 by completing the square, but I also decided to do a video where you can use the quadratic formula. I know that we worked with the quadratic formula, so most of you are much more comfortable with that. So I wanted to show you that you could still answer this question using the quadratic formula. Unfortunately, you will only get partial credit or half credit, but let's get all the points we can. So first thing, let me jump into this. You see, I'm going to use this graphical organizer that we were using during the school year. And so there's the equation. Remember, we always start when we're doing the quadratic formula by finding the A, B, and C values. So in this example, the leading coefficient is 1. The middle term is 10. The constant is a negative 30. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to plug those numbers into this formula. So the B value is 10, so I put a 10 there. I'm going to put a 10 here. I am going to put 1 in for A, and I'm going to put in a negative 30 for C, and then in the denominator, I'm going to put a 1 in there. Now, the part that we have to pay attention to, because they want the exact value, that means we have to look at the discriminant, the b squared minus 4ac part, and figure out what that's going to be. So the way that I want you guys to do it is we're going to store these values, 1, 10, and a negative 30 into the A, B, C respectively. All right, so let's go do that. We're going to get the calculator, which is here. And I am going to take the A leading coefficient 1, and I'm going to store that into A. Boom. And then I'm going to take 10, and I'm going to store that into B. And then, shoot, let me fix that. That's not what I wanted to do. Let me do that again. It should be 10, and that is stored into B. Actually, I'm just going to copy this and delete the B, one of those B's. All right, so now I've done that. And now I'm going to do a negative 30. And I'm going to store that into C. Press enter. Boom, done. Now all I'm going to do is put in the b squared minus 4ac part, or the discriminant. B squared minus 4. Again, this calculator is frustrating me. Delete that. That's not what we want. We want to be down here. We got the minus, and then we got 4a times c. I gotta figure out what's going on with my cursor. All right, so this is 220, okay? So that's not a perfect square, but we can, I believe, we can simplify this. So that's the goal. When they say exact, they want this as a fraction, and now they want us to make sure we simplify any radical that can be simplified. And if there's some fractions that can be simplified, they want us to do that as well. So let me go, and I'm going to go menu. I'm going to go to number. This is frustrating right now. This cursor is not cooperating. Menu. I want to go to number, and then I want factor. And then I'm going to put 220 inside of there. And you can see it's 2 to the second power times 5 times 11. So let's go back over here so I can show you what we're doing. And what we're going to have is x equals a negative 10 plus or minus the square root of 220 over 2. Now, what we're going to do is we are going to simplify the 220, because it can be simplified. And I'm going to rewrite that. I'm going to rewrite it over here as x equals a negative 10 plus or minus, and I'm going to write it as 2, what was it? It was 2 squared, I believe. Yeah, 2 squared. So that's what I'm going to have. 2 squared times 5 times 11 over 2. And because this has a square, we have 2 2's, we can take that outside of the radical. So what we're going to have is going to be a negative 10 plus or minus 2 times 5 times 11, which is 55 over 2. Now, we're almost done. We can simplify these fractions, so it's going to be a negative 10 divided by 2 is going to be a negative 5. And then these 2's here are going to cancel, so we're just going to be left with 55. Now, this is the exact answer that we got by completing the square, which of course is what we should get, because these basically are the same these are the same thing. Completing the square and the quadratic formula are basically the same technique. So, or the quadratic formula is the result of completing the square. So this is your answer. That's what you're doing. I think if you had left it like this, unfortunately, since they wanted you to complete the square, you wouldn't get credit for this. They want you, if we get to this, even though we didn't complete the square, they would give us 1 point because we got the correct answer. This is not simplified, so we wouldn't, I don't think they would give us credit for that. I don't think. I'm not 100% certain, but I think to be certain, you should make sure you can simplify it as possible. All right, so this is just in summary, this is just to show you that you can also use the quadratic formula if you don't feel comfortable trying to complete the square. All right, I'm going to stop this in post.